Hello and welcome along to Untitled Movies. My name is John and this is going to be my competition entry to the channel Sinister Arts Movies run by Tony. Now Tony has set this competition for 300 subs and he's well past the 300 subs. His subscription levels is going up rapidly, which is excellent. He's got a great channel. I predominantly found Tony's channel to do with his artwork, and I was lucky enough to win some artwork from him in the competition. I won this print, which is James Gandolfini from Sopranos, which is Tony's favourite TV show. And he sent me this and I was blown away by it. This will get framed as soon as I can get out and get to some shops to get some frames. But Tony sent me this as well, which you can see is his sort of infamous picture of Pennywise from the TV movie, the first one. And it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, the detail in there is absolutely stunning. So yeah, his artwork is legendary. So he's recently branched out into more of a sort of true crime stuff. He's really into his mafia stuff. He loves gangster films and he's got a really good knowledge of all these things. And when he puts his videos out to that, I think he's reached a new audience as well, which is great. So I urge you to get across to his channel and check it out, and also to sub. And if you want to enter this competition, you need to make a video entry, which is what I'm doing now. So I'll leave a link down below to Tony's channel and Tony's competition. So if you can get yourself across there and put in for it, you'll have a great time on this channel as well. And also you've got the chance to win something called a mystery box or a surprise box. Tony's promised to have a few things in there. It's going to be a few Blu-rays. There's going to be some other things which he's not mentioning it, but it's going to be a nice surprise for whoever wins. So he asks one question for the competition, and the competition is, what is your favorite soundtrack of all time? So I had to think about this, and I thought recently the films that I usually listen to the soundtracks to are the Dario Argento films, the 1975 film Deep Red, which has got a brilliant soundtrack by Goblin, and also Suspiria from 1977, which has got an equally brilliant soundtrack from Goblin. So I've got them two soundtracks which I love and I play them a lot. But I'm going to have to pick my original favourite soundtrack, which was a cassette recording, which I bought way back in the day, probably in 1975, and it is of the movie Jaws. Now, the reason I like this soundtrack is because, especially for the soundtrack's brilliant all the way through. I can listen to it from start to beginning. It doesn't have any sort of dips in it. But there has this song in it this track in it, track 2, is called Chrissy's Death. Now, this music in here does portray the death of Chrissy when she gets attacked by the shark at the start of the film, but it's not what you hear in the movie. Bits of it is, but bits of it aren't, and the bits that aren't is the bits that I really like. So in the song you do hear the cello that portrays the shark, and also what it is, you can hear the shark's movements in it. You can hear how it's attacking Chrissy or going to attack Chrissy, because it starts off at a sort of a very low, I'm not going to do the sort of dumps, but it's got that sort of thing going on. It's got this very slow thing which portrays, for me in my mind, because I listened to this all the time when I was a kid, it portrayed the fact that the shark was maybe circling Chrissy, just having a bit of a look, seeing what's going on. Then it has the one where it speeds up a little bit, and then it goes into a gallop, and then it goes into a sort of run. It's quite hard to describe, but if you listen to it down below, you'll know exactly what I mean. And when it strikes Chrissy, you hear a sort of bam, and then it sort of goes a little bit slow, and then it becomes like a frenzied attack. Now, the strange bit that they've done with this, and it just sounds so incredible, I don't think it would have worked in the film, but it really works in the soundtrack, is when the shark is coming for Chrissy with its speed, and it's attacking Chrissy like this, you can hear a pinball machine going off. Ding, ding, ding. I know this is going to sound a bit strange when I'm doing this, but it's so really effective that you get this picture of this shark just mauling this person, which is what happens in the film actually. So for me, I'm going to have to say Jaws is my favourite soundtrack, purely, well, the soundtrack is brilliant, but purely for track 2, Chrissy's Death. I'll leave it down below. Check it out, see what you think, because I do think it's one of the best bits of soundtrack I've ever heard, and it blows everything else out of the water, pun intended. Okay, so anyway, that's that. So also Tony has asked to give a shout out to channels that are under 100 subscribers. Now these 3 channels that I'm going to pick today are new channels to me and also new channels to the community, but I'm sure they will be welcomed as we kind of, as a group, welcome all these people into our communities, help them in any way they can, and I think this makes these channels feel included. So I think a shout out to these channels is also a good confidence builder. They can say, well, I can see the subs starting to go up, more people get invested in their channels and they will progress. And that's what it's all about, somebody coming on, and these channels have all got their own desire to be in the YouTube, making YouTube videos, and obviously this YouTube community which we're in is very welcoming and very acceptance of everybody coming in and trying and dipping the toe in the water and see what it's all about. And when you get to a certain point, you'll never look back. But I think this is a good springboard with a shout out to give you that bit of confidence to take you through to the next part of your journey on YouTube. So the first shout out I want to give today is a channel called Blockbuster Bob. Now Bob, or Robert from Blockbuster Bob, he's just really started his channel. He's just starting out, and his first video yesterday that I watched is he has actually just turned the camera around and he's speaking to the camera. Now I know it can be quite daunting doing that when you start off. When I first started off, I did want to do it purely by hands, with stuff like that and me talking behind the camera. So yes, so I urge you to get across to Blockbuster Bob's, check his channel out. He's just started doing stuff to camera. He does stuff, unboxings, and he does some recommendations and that great little piece on Vampires film from the John Carpenter film, it is a bit of a sort of like lost film that doesn't really get talked about enough. So that was a great video there, and he's just really starting out. So that's Blockbuster Bob. The next channel I want to give a shout out to is The Girl in the Movie. Now The Girl in the Movie is run by Danny. Now Danny, I think a lot of people will know that Danny is the wife of Tony, which competition I'm actually entering now. And I'm not doing that because of that. I'm doing it because of she has got one of these channels. It's become one of my favourite channels actually. And she's actually doing a competition as well. I'm going to be doing my entry to her competition after this video. And also she did, which I'll link down below, she did one which me and my wife were in stitches watching, when she got some hot sauce and she tasted it with Tony, and their reactions is absolutely brilliant. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Really, really good. Really, really recommended. She's a great person. I speak to her on Instagram all the time, and her and Tony are a great couple. And sometimes they do joint videos as well, which is really good as well. So that's The Girl in the Movie, and she's just really started out as well. But she does a lot of as well. She does a lot of things about films, analysing films, and when she does mine, she does a view to a film, and you find out loads of stuff, and she does it from as if she was like the review was really good. It's really different. So her review is a bit more like an analysis of the movie, and I watched the Greenland one. I'm going to watch the films before I watch the analysis of them, but I watched her Greenland one after I'd seen Greenland. It was absolutely brilliant. She picked on loads of bits of it. I thought, oh, that's an excellent way to put it on that review. So that's Danny, The Girl in the Movie. And the last channel I want to shout out to is another channel that's just started as well, making videos, and it is, I'm going to say it's Matt V's Movie, or it could be Matt versus Movies, but I think it's Matt V's Movie if I can come down on one side of it. Now he is just started out doing videos as well. He's commented loads of times on my videos. He's got some great comments on my videos. I have a great time speaking to him, and I would love to think that these channels who are just starting out on their journey would be kind of taken under our wings, if that's how we can say it, and we can sort of help them to get their confidence into making more content. And I think these channels can evolve, because it's down to start off with shout outs. I know shout outs was big for me when I first started off. It did make my channel go to the next level, and this is what it's all about, isn't it? Just seeing how far you can go on YouTube and enjoying it as well. It's all about having fun. So thanks very much for that. That's just to recap, Matt V's Movies, the girl in the movie, and Blockbuster Bob. So yes, go across to Tony, give him a sub, check out his channel, put into for his make a video, go into his competition, and also who knows, in the future you might win some of these as well. Great, eh? So thanks once again for watching. You take care, and I will see you on the next video.